Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending upon when you are watching this video lecture. In the earlier sessions, in relation to the chapter of labor, we discussed about some of the aspects related to computation of labor cost, including treatment of idle time and overtime. And now let us move on to the wage payment and incentive systems. Of course, prior to that, there is a small topic of labor utilization. Utilization is basically about how a particular worker's time has been utilized for a particular job that will be coming from a wage analysis sheet. So that is only a practical document, we can say, which is prepared in the factories. What is that? If at all a short note question is asked, you can just write this. It is a statement in which the total wages paid are analyzed according to the cost centers, jobs and work orders, etc. Which means from this sheet we can identify first of all totally how many hours they have worked, and out of that how much is direct and how much is indirect labor hours that they have really worked, and what is the total labor cost, and how much of that is to be charged to different cost centers, jobs or work orders. If there is any overtime, that also will be recorded here, and how the indirect labor cost has to be treated. Generally, that's what is overhead. That will also be visible in the wage analysis sheet, which will give all the details about labor cost in one sheet. So that is commonly used in the factories, but once again these are all little outdated. Nowadays, with the advent of all the computer systems, most of these things are done automatically in the systems. More electronic ways are there for analyzing actual hours spent and on which job that hours were spent. Not that difficult nowadays to analyze it. So in general, if at all a short note question is given on what is wage analysis sheet, you can write this and you can write about some of the points and why wage analysis sheet can be useful in the factories. That's it. Of course, sometimes if at all there is any work done on the capital jobs, that should not be charged to the normal cost of production, that should be charged to the asset. For example, if a portion of the labor, a part of our own labor are working for construction of our own building, that is not production for us. That will be a capital job, which means whatever the wages paid to them will be included in the cost of that construction of building. So that will be added to fixed assets. In other words, in accounting terms, you can understand that the expenditure incurred on such labor will be capitalized rather than booking it as a revenue expenditure. That is common, nothing special about it. Now coming to the core aspect of this chapter, that is wage payment and incentive payment systems. There are many types of systems of payment. You can broadly go through them one by one. Some systems are time based, as the name indicates, depending upon how much time the worker has actually worked. There will be wage rate fixed, in other words wage rate per hour. Like that, the time based wage rates will be fixed in general per hour, but there is no necessity. You need to read the question carefully. Time based could be per hour also, per day also, per week also, per month also, whatever it is. But time based systems are quite common in paying wages to workers. But in some factories they use output based payment systems, which mean piece work we can call, piece rate we can call. In other words, how much time they worked doesn't matter. What matters is how much they have actually produced, how many units of production they were able to achieve. On that basis, wages will be given. So in that case, we can call that as piece rate. So first one we can call that as time rate. Second one we can call it as piece rate. Piece rate means wage rate will be fixed per unit of output which has been actually produced by the laborer. Normally in real life, more you can say labor intensive industries where particularly the things have to be made by hand, those will be generally output based payment systems. Depends upon the quantity of output that they have generated. So mostly agro based industries also will be paying output based payment systems they might be using. Like for example in real life, the BD workers mostly working in the northern Telangana, they all get paid few rupees for actually rolling out thousands of BDs. Same way the agarbatti workers who will roll the agarbattis by hand, the dhoop sticks what we call. So those are all also paid generally output based. Once again, almost few thousands of agarbattis they make very quickly actually. They get few rupees out of that. That's it. It's not like per piece also, it might be per 1,000 units they produce, something like that. So many industries like that, like cashew processing industries, like diamond cutting industries, many industries where the workers will be paid on the basis of what output they generate rather than how much time they spend. They spend more time also, less time also, it doesn't matter. If they are more efficient, they will get more wages. That is output based systems. But of course, both of them have their own positives and negatives. So that is why practically it might be more prudent to use a combination of time and output based systems, which will use both. A portion of the wages will be time based and a portion of the wages will be output based. So that is also another possible wage payment system. In addition to this, there are certain bonus methods where premium bonus methods we can call them. We'll discuss them as part of this, where there will be some bonus paid. And why bonus should be paid? Bonus again, don't think we are talking about a yearly bonus like white collared employees and all. We are talking about basic laborers who are like physical laborers who are working in the factory. So most of these things, most of them will be revolving around that level of laborers, not the white collared employees. So mostly these all calculations are for blue collared employees. From these systems, we cannot come out with how to fix a salary of a software engineer, how to fix the salary of a chartered accountant. Difficult. So there will be more market oriented methods there. But here we are talking about workers, physical laborers who are working in the factories. For them, if they work more efficiently, to incentivize them, there may be premium given to them that can be called as premium bonus method. Individually, if it is given, it is premium bonus method. If it is given to a group, that can be called as group bonus scheme. Group bonus means the workers will be working in teams, and if the team performance is good, everybody will get a share of the group bonus. But bonus is not given individually, it is given to the group as a whole. Of course, though it is not a bonus, just for understanding purposes, some of the restaurants, if you observe, whatever the tip that customers give, that individual waiter will not take. He will put it in a box, which is common for all the waiters, and at the end of the day, all the waiters will share that. That's an example of group sharing. Here also the performance is not individually measured. For a group, if the performance is good, everybody gets a benefit out of that. That is called a group bonus scheme. That encourages more teamwork and coordination among the people. Definitely, each of them have their own advantages, disadvantages. We don't need to be going through them very much in detail, but on a broader level, we should understand these many methods are there for wage payment systems and incentive payment systems, and each of them have their own positives and negatives. And sometimes for indirect workers, incentives can be given also. Like this, different methods are there. Let us go through them one by one very quickly. Most of them are self-explanatory, name itself is enough. So first of all, straight time rate system. Straight time rate system is nothing but time worked multiply with rate for that particular time. That's all. So whatever that time may be, if the wage rate is per hour, you will take number of hours that the worker has worked, multiply with whatever is the wage rate payable to that worker per hour. That's it. So that is a straight time rate system. This can be used in many places where we cannot actually measure the output tangibly. This method is more suitable. And also actually very highly skilled jobs also this method is suitable. For example, most of the consultants working in America, Indians particularly we are talking about, those who are not on the payrolls of the companies, they work as consultants independently in America and they get paid hourly these many dollars. Like that, teaching is another commonly highly paid job in Western world where hourly payments will be made. So highly skilled jobs will have this time rate system also, not necessarily the lowest possible job, even higher highly skilled jobs also will be paid on the basis of time rate system. On a regular basis, what we see is always known to us. For example, all the construction workers normally in the unorganized sector in India, we see them daily waiting for work. And if at all any contractor comes and picks them, they go and work for that day and they have some fixed daily wage. So that is a daily wage. Daily also is a time rate. Hourly is also time rate. Only difference is more skilled people are paid hourly. Little less skilled and physical workers are paid daily. That is how it has become. But irrespective of whatever it is, where it is used, it can be used in various places where particularly the tangibility of the measurement of output is not possible, or where the job is a very highly skilled job, or where output is independent of the operator. Sometimes more automatic production might happen where a lot of production will happen. This worker will be there working. So can we attribute entire production to that worker? Maybe he's just switching on, switching off the switches. For that, we cannot say it is all his output. So there also time-based systems will be more suitable. So in other words, simply speaking, more capital intensive industries might use this. Highly skilled jobs might use this. Very low level workers like construction workers also can be paid like this. That is straight time rate system, but they will be paid daily. And where we cannot measure the output, there also they can use this type of system. That is called straight time rate system. Time rate means rate per hour or day or month, multiply with number of hours worked, days worked or months worked. That gives us the wages payable to a particular worker. That is called time rate system, we can call it. Then coming to piece rate system, we can call it straight piece rate system. Where we are calling straight is we are not considering any other factors. Directly simple calculation we are doing here. In case of time rate system, we multiplied. Let us stick to hours. Every time we don't have to tell days, months also. We have to understand. Always it is possible. So number of hours worked multiplied with rate per hour. That's how time wages will be calculated. Piece rate is different. Under the piece rate system, it is not the time that matters. It is the output that matters. So the wages of the worker depend upon output. In other words, how the wages will be calculated? The number of units produced by the laborer multiplied with rate per unit, because the rate is already fixed here, per unit. That we can call as piece rate system. These are the two popular systems. Either the wages can be paid per hour or the wages can be paid per piece of output generated by the worker. Those are the two major commonly used methods. Then coming to the premium bonus methods, there are many types of plans. Actually, earlier there used to be many more type of systems in the syllabus. Now they have restricted to only majorly two methods. One is Halsey plan, two is Rowan plan. So these are both put together, we can call them as premium bonus plans or premium bonus methods. Very old systems. Don't really think that these are all going to be used in the real world. Outdated. Ideally should have been completely removed, but what to do? At least we should be happy that lot of nonsensical methods are already at least removed. Halsey and Rowan are kept only for problem solving purposes, not that really they are useful. Without these two also, there is no problem that we can solve. So for academic purposes, if at all a problem has to be framed from this chapter, at least these two should be there. Most of the problems will be from this only. Almost 80% of the times, the problems from labor chapter will be asked from Halsey and Rowan plans. So that much important they are. If this is removed, this chapter is gone. That is why they could not remove it. Earlier, there used to be so many types of systems like Barth system, like Beddock's plan, Emerson efficiency system. Many systems were there. Now we don't need to worry about them. Those are all very outdated. Those are all actually 19th century systems also, some of them. Gantt task plan. So many things are there. So those are all 19th century scientists who in the beginning days of industrial revolution, when the factories started working, a lot of people started working in the one place, which never happened before in the human history, because normally human beings work at their home. There is nothing called a workplace separate than home. If at all there is a workplace, that is a field where they used to work, and that is also in the same village. But after the industrial revolution, when the machines have gained their importance and they have increased their presence, the people started going from villages to towns and cities, and they started working in the factories. So thousands of people are coming, and they're all working. Initially, it used to be very confusing, even for the industrialists. How to pay these people? How much should we pay? Should we pay too much? Then dangerous, because they might not get profits. If we pay too less, then they may not be happy and they may do strikes or anything like that. So always it used to be a big subject, how to actually compensate these laborers. And performance is one thing always they wanted to tie with the payment. So how to do that? So many people have worked on that. Those are all very outdated things. Point is not that they are not good. They are good, but they are outdated. So we don't need to worry about those things, because Halsey and premium are there in the syllabus. Without them, there is no problems that can be possible in this chapter. We have to definitely learn these two things. That is what premium bonus methods we can call. Simply what happens here, understand the concept of these methods. First of all, there is a standard time that is established for a particular job. Means this job has to be done in, let us say, 10 hours. That's it. That is fixed. I mean, that is the time that normally that job takes for an average worker, not like a super skilled worker. For an average worker, on an average, 10 hours a job will take, or 10 hours a particular task will take, let us say. Then a question comes, how do we know it is 10 hours? That has to be done by observation in the real life. For that purpose only, time and motion study they will do. And that is all done by engineers. We don't need to worry about it. Already, how much time normally the job should take, or one unit of product, how much time it should take, is already fixed. That's what we can call that as standard time, which is established for performing a particular job. Of course, the worker is guaranteed his daily wages. There is no doubt in that. I mean, hourly rate is already there. Hourly rate has no disturbance here. It is there. But if at all he is able to complete the task in less than the standard time, that means what? He has done a good job. Normally it is supposed to take 10 hours, but he has completed the task in 8 hours only, let us say. 2 hours he has saved. That does not mean 2 hours he is going to sleep. That 2 hours he will do something else for the company only. So the time that is saved, this saved time is shared between employer and employee. That also is not completely given to employee. Again, don't think time is given. Time nobody can give and take. Time means the money related to time. The money related to the saved time is shared between employer and employee. That is a concept of premium bonus plan. Then what Halsey and Rowan plans will tell us how this sharing happens. That is only difference. But concept is same. Concept is always the same. What is that? There is a standard time. Yes. There is a actual time. Yes. There is actual time. Standard time is there. Actual time is there. That means there is a time that is saved. Or we can use these words. Time allowed, we can call it as standard time. Time taken, popularly we can call it as actual time. Time saved is what the worker will be eligible for some bonus, some incentive. How it will be given, that depends upon what plan they are following. So, but concept is same. Always there is some time allowed, and there is some time taken, which is actual, and time taken is less than time allowed. Then only there is time saved. Imagine if there is a worker who is not so efficient, less skilled, or maybe lethargic, whatever the reason may be, he has taken more time than what has been allowed. There will be no time saving. That means there is no bonus. Don't think he will not be paid. He should be paid, first of all. He has worked, right? He should be paid, but there will not be any bonus for him because he has not achieved any great performance. So, bonus will come when premium, we can call it, bonus, we can call it, when it will come, only when there is a time saved. And when the time saved will be there, when the time taken is less than time allowed, naturally. So that is what basically these premium bonus plans or methods will use the concept of. One way we can say incentivizing the skilled workers and efficient laborers are incentivized by giving them little more money than what they could have got just by working for few hours. So how that additional money, the bonus is given, that is also not completely given to the worker. A portion of that is only given to the worker. We are not bothered about how much the employer takes in that. It is his own money he is giving. So that doesn't matter. What matters is how much the worker gets out of that. That's what will be told differently by Halsey. This is one guy. And Rowan is another guy. Old. These are all again 19th century people or 20th century people, you can say. 19th is too much. So 20th century people. So those are at least a century old than what we are talking about. It doesn't matter. We just need to know some mathematical model. For that purpose, it is there. So what Halsey says, how the wages will be given. Directly we can go to the formula. How the wages will be given. This is first standard rate, right? Normal one. So there is no problem here. So this can be just taken in separate bracket. Here, time taken into time rate. What does this mean? Time taken into time rate means what? That is basic time wages, right? So whoever works for how many number of hours, so definitely they will be paid their time rate. So there is no new here. Nothing new in this part. This part is the basic time wages that the workers are entitled to. There is no Halsey, no Rowan. That is common. The point comes with the second part. Second part is what? That is bonus part. First part is basic wages. Basic again, don't mix with income tax basic and all. No. First of all, should not mix taxation with costing. Though some of the words we use, that does not mean, they mean the same thing in both places, all the times. So, what are these time taken and multiplied with the time rate is coming? What is it showing us? What is it telling us? It is giving us this basic wages, time wages we can call. Plus, next what is the bonus that they are entitled to? 50% of time saved multiplied with the time rate. That is the bonus they are entitled to. This is where Halsey plan has a difference. The first part, there is no difference. There is no Halsey there. Simply, the second part of bonus only, there is Halsey plan that is coming in. Halsey, what he said, whatever the time saved, give 50% of that to the worker. That's what he said, simply speaking. So that is the essence of this is ultimately what? What the employer will get 50%, employee will get 50%. Both of them will get a bonus. Employee will get a bonus of 50% of the wages related to the time saved. Employer benefits by another 50%. Employer, what he benefits, we don't care. Simply what employee is eligible, that's what is wages. That is how much? 50% of time saved multiplied with the time rate. Time rate should be known already to us. Definitely, that is what workers are paid with for per hour, let us say. So, how many hours are taken? That is actual time worked multiplied with time rate. That is normal time wages plus a bonus of 50% of time saved multiplied with time rate will be given as total wages, and we need to always distinguish these two parts. First part is time wages, that is not bonus. Whether Halsey told it or not, anyway that will be paid to the worker. But what is Halsey's contribution here is the second part only. What he says is, out of the time saved, 50% of the time saved should be given as a bonus to the worker according to the rate that is applicable to that worker. So time rate is common. But only point is, entire time saved is not being given to the worker. Only half of that is given to the worker. He is compensated for that. time saved by giving this bonus amount. That's it. That is Halsey premium plan, we can call it. Sometimes it can be called as 50% plan, because Halsey is suggesting 50% of the time saved is to be monetized and given to the worker. That is about Halsey plan, and it is a standard percentage. No change from one worker to another worker. Whatever the time saved is there, 50% of that only they will get always. So there is not going to be any confusion. Generally, it is easy to calculate. But workers may not like it. There will be advantages, disadvantages. Already this plan itself is old, outdated plan. We don't need to worry about advantages, disadvantages. You can go through them for theory question purposes. They are all self-explanatory. There will be advantages and disadvantages for any system. This system also will have it naturally. So that is Halsey plan. Okay. Next, let us just quickly go through how this plan is applied. Simple example is given. Calculate the earnings of a worker under Halsey plan. The relevant data is given. Time rate is per hour 60 rupees. So hourly rate payable to the worker is 60 rupees. Time allowed is 8 hours. Time taken is 6 hours only. Time saved should not be given, but anyway, it is also given. Time saved is 2 hours. Simply, what is the wages? One short calculation. Directly you can calculate. First of all, time taken into wage rate. Time taken is how much? 6 hours. 6 into 60. That comes to 360 rupees. Keep it aside. That is basic time wages. Then half of time saved into time rate. So 2 hours. 2 into 1 by 2. Half only. 50% of 2 is 1. 1 into 60 is 60. So 360 plus 60, 420 will be the final answer. That is the total wages to be given to the worker. But once again, identify very clearly here. This portion is time wages. This is time wages. This portion is bonus. You have to read the question carefully. If the question is asking how much is the bonus, then your answer should not be 360 or 420. Bonus is only 60. That is only one. So that is on account of share of the premium bonus. That is what we should identify here. These two parts to be identified separately, calculated separately, shown separately in the exam as workings. Final answer, of course, is 420. That is the total wages that are supposed to be paid to this worker. We can call that total earnings. That's it. That is about Halsey bonus plan or premium plan. Now coming to the Rowan plan. Rowan is another person. According to him, instead of 50%, what he has done is different. So here, this portion is still the same. Time taken into rate per hour. There is no difference here. Here there is no difference. It is simply the same one. So time taken into rate per hour is same. But instead of giving 50% of the time saved, what Rowan says is little bit of calculation he has involved here. And this calculation is what? Time saved divided by time allowed. Time saved divided by time allowed into time taken into rate per hour. So out of the total time allowed, how much percentage is the time saved? That's what is time saved by time allowed, right? That much percentage of time taken is given as bonus. So here there is no standardization of 50% and all. It can change from worker to worker, because time saved will be different for each worker. So standardizing to 50% of time saved is Halsey, but rather than standardizing the time saved, Rowan has done a proportional amount. A proportion of time wages is given as bonus, but to what extent it is given, that is in the proportion of time saved to time allowed. So time saved divided by time allowed multiplied with time taken into rate per hour. That is the formula for total wages under Rowan plan. Once again, you have to identify first portion here. This portion is the same. This portion has no difference. This portion is same in both the plans because that is basically normal calculation of time wages. That is not related to bonus at all. This is basic normal wages that the worker is entitled to. So this will be same in both of them. Time taken into rate per hour. There is no difference there. Here also same. Time taken into rate per hour. But difference will come only in the second part. And what is the second part? The second part is bonus part. Hall say what he said? 50% of time saved into time rate, he said. Understand and remember this formula very carefully. You cannot use whatever comes into mind. 50% of what? Time saved multiplied with time rate. That is bonus under Halsey plan. Under row 1 plan, what is bonus? Multiple things are there. Time saved divided by time allowed multiplied with the time taken into rate per hour. So that is the bonus under row 1 premium plan. You should write this formula number of times so that you can remember them and you can apply them in the solving of problems, which again, once again, we have to remember that these two are the core aspects of this chapter. Many problems will be asked from these two things, Halsey and row 1 plan. Okay, that is the point here related to Halsey and row 1. Then, if at all this Halsey plan is implemented, row 1 plan is implemented, what could be the advantages and disadvantages? That you can generally go through them, not required special discussion, those are self-explanatory. Advantages and disadvantages of Halsey are also there, here given, and advantages and disadvantages of row 1 scheme are also given. Naturally any scheme will have them. These schemes also have advantages and disadvantages. You can generally go through them. For theory question purposes, you can go through them and remember them if possible. But most important thing is formulae. That is very important. You should remember the formulae and you should be able to apply those formulae in the problems that are going to be given in this chapter. So let us go to illustration number 7. Just for understanding purposes. This is not exam question and all, just only to apply the row 1 system. Calculate the earnings of a worker under row 1 system. The relevant data is given as below. Time rate is given per hour 60 rupees. Time allowed is 8 hours. Actually same data. So the question is, if the same data of earlier illustration is used, how much will be the wages of the worker under row 1 scheme? Under Halsey scheme, we already calculated that was 420. Under row 1 scheme, how much would that be? Is the question. Under row 1 scheme, you have to apply correct formula here. What is the formula? Time taken into rate per hour. So as far as this 360 is concerned, is there any difference between Halsey and row 1? No. Here also 360, here also 360. Basic wages are always same. That is time wages. So time taken into rate per hour, 6 hours into 60 rupees. 360 is standard common. But look at the bonus here. Bonus here has to be calculated by using a particular formula suggested by row 1. That is what? Time saved divided by time allowed multiplied with time taken multiplied with rate per hour. Substitute that. Time saved here is 2 hours. Time allowed was 8 hours. Time taken was 6 hours. Multiply with rate 60. That comes to 90. So the total wages of the worker under row 1 scheme are 450 rupees. Whereas earlier under the Halsey scheme they were only 420 rupees. So this scheme is giving in this case. Don't think always row 1 will be higher than Halsey. No, nothing like that. We don't have to jump to any generalizations. Actual wages of the workers depend upon the facts. Naturally, they depend upon how much time is allowed, how much time is taken. From that, we can find out how much time is saved. Rate per hour is a fact. So definitely, we need the data related to how much time is allowed, how much time is taken, and rate per hour. Without these three things, we cannot solve the questions related to Halsey or row 1. So that is all facts only. All the three are facts. They have to be observed in reality. But for us, it will be given in the question. Our great job is only to substitute in the relevant formula and get the correct answer. So that is only for understanding of Halsey and row 1 plans. and the formula have to be very much remembered. In case of Halsey plan, the formula is bonus formula, let us say. Basic normal time wages formula, there is no need to separately remember that. That is common sense. Time taken into time rate, that is okay. Bonus formula for Halsey is 50% of time saved into time rate. Whereas bonus for row 1 is, under row 1 scheme is, time saved by time allowed multiplied with time taken into rate per hour. These formula you have to remember well. And many questions will be given according to these two models of bonus plans, we can say. Okay. So let us look at some of the questions applying the Halsey and Rowan plans. See, the plans are very simple. The formulae are very simple, but the point is how they are applied into questions. That can be in a little different way from question to question. So this is a past examination question, a perfect question which can be asked at any time with a little bit of change in numbers. So illustration number 8, read it carefully. Two workmen A and B produce the same product using the same material. So what they are doing is same, what material they are using is same, and their normal wage rate is also same. Whatever wage rate they have per hour is also same. But only difference is A is paid bonus according to row 1 plan, whereas B is paid bonus according to Halsey plan. So A is paid with row 1, B is paid with Halsey. This is all the information that is given in the question already. And then the time allowed to make the product is 50 hours. That is also common, right? Because they are doing the same thing. Time allowed will be 50 hours for both. But how much time A takes? A took only 30 hours, whereas B took 40 hours to complete the product. So how much is the time saved for A? 20 hours. How much is the time saved for B? 10 hours. So there is a different time saved here. And not only that, their premium bonus plans are also different. A is paid with Rowan plan and B is paid with Halsey plan. Now further information is given that the factory overhead rate is 5 rupees per man hour actually worked. So overhead rate is already given, that is 5 rupees per hour actually worked. That can be directly used for calculating the overhead rate related to A or B, because A has worked how many hours? 30 hours. 30 into 5, 150 rupees will be the overheads for A. For B, 40 into 5, 200 rupees will be the overheads for B. But main point is the factory cost of the product A is given. That is, for A it is coming out to be 3490. For B it is coming out to be 3600. Please understand the question. A and B are not products. A and B are people. Those are human beings. They are manufacturing same product. But because A is paid with a different plan, B is paid with a different plan, the total factory cost of the product when it comes to A is 3490, and when it comes to B it became 3600. So what is factory cost? That we should know first. In this particular case, what are all to be added in order to arrive at factory cost? Definitely materials should be added or not? Yes. Wages should be added or not? Yes. Wages once again include normal wages also plus bonus also. So whatever that wage rate is, that we don't know, but they should be added. So there should be materials plus wages plus factory overhead, that becomes factory cost. But the problem here is we know factory cost, but we don't know how much is wages, and we don't know also how much is material cost. So we need to do reverse calculation so that we can find out how much is the material cost and how much is the wages cost. For knowing wages cost, we need to know what is the rate of wages. That is why what is required here, first thing first, we need to calculate normal rate of wages. Also we need to calculate the materials cost. There is nothing called cost of materials cost. Materials cost. So that is what is required here. So we don't know two things related to each person. So we cannot just like that get that. We need to assume that one of them is X and other one is Y. Anything we can take. In the sequence, let us say X be the cost of materials, whatever it might be. Let us say Y is what? Not labor cost. No. That should be normal rate of wages per hour. That's what is asked. Normal rate of wages is asked. Rate means per hour only. So Y is the normal rate of wages per hour. X is the cost of material. Then factory cost of workman A can be summarized like this. Material cost will be there, X definitely. Wages will be 30 multiplied with Y. Y what we have taken as wage rate, Y 30. Because A has worked for 30 hours. So 30 into Y, that is normal wages, time wages we can say. Now bonus. Bonus you have to calculate using Halsey plan. Halsey plan what it says? Time saved divided by time allowed. Sorry, A is having Halsey or Rowan? A is having Rowan system, correct. B is having Halsey plan. So what should be taken here is time saved divided by time allowed into time taken multiplied with wage rate. Wage rate we don't know, that is why we have taken it as Y. So what is time saved here? Time saved is 20. That is 50 minus 30. Time saved is 20 hours. Divided by time allowed is 50. Time taken is 30. So if you do this, how much is going to be the bonus under Rowan plan for workman A? That will be 12Y. Overheads is directly calculated because 30 hours he has worked and 5 rupees per hour is already given in the question. So 150 rupees is the overheads for worker A. So you add all of them, what will come? Equation will generate. In other words, X plus 42Y will be equal to 3340. Why? If this goes to the other side, 3490 minus 150, that becomes 3340. So the equation 1 is what now? X plus 42Y is equal to 3340. That is one equation. Keep it aside. Then bring another equation. Material cost is same for both. So there is no separate material cost. Even for workman B also material cost is X only. Wage rate per hour is also same for both. Normal wage rate is same. That is also same. So Y is also same for workman B. But definitely wages will differ because workman B has worked for 40 hours. He will be getting 40Y. Normal wages, time wages we can say. Then he will get bonus of 50% of time saved only. How much time saved here? Because he has worked 40 hours for a job where the time allowed was 50 hours. He saved 10 hours. In that, 5 will come to him. So 50% of that is 5Y. That is only bonus under Halsey plan, 5Y. Then overheads here will be 40 multiplied with 5Y. Once again, 5 rupees is hourly rate. 40 hours B has worked. We are talking about B now. So multiply that, you will get 200. But the total of factory cost is 3600. Now what we can get is another equation, that is X plus 45Y is equal to 3400. That is another equation. That's all. When you have two equations, X plus 42Y is equal to 3340. X plus 45Y is equal to 3400. You can do anything. Subtract, let us say, equation 1 from equation 2. X and X will go. 45Y minus 42Y will be 3Y. 3Y will be equal to what? 3400 minus 3340, that becomes 60. So Y will be how much then? Naturally 20 rupees per hour. That's what we started with. Y was what? Wage rate per hour. That's what is answer for A question. That is the normal rate of wages. 20 rupees per hour. Then once you have Y, you can substitute in any one of the equations and get the value for X. Any equation you substitute. Let us say if you substitute in the equation number 2, X plus 45 into 20 is equal to 3400. In other words, X will be equal to 2500. So we got X also, Y also. The entire mystery is busted now. So we know how much is the cost of materials also, how much is the wage rate per hour also. But he has also asked to show a comparative statement of factory cost so that we can summarize whatever we have found actually. That can be also shown. Material cost of course is same for both. That was what we found as X, that is 2500. Direct wages rate will be same, but wages will be different. Identify the difference. Nobody said wages are same. No, wage rate is same. Wages are different because the number of hours they worked is different. So A will get 600 rupees, B will get 800 rupees because A worked for 30 hours, B worked for 40 hours. Wage rate is same, that is 20 rupees. So basic wages or normal direct wages will be 600 and 800 for A and B respectively. Bonus. Bonus how much it is? We already know that. For A it would be 12 into Y. For A it was 12 into Y. That was the bonus. We already identified here. That is 12Y is the bonus for A. Now 12Y means 12 into 20. That comes to 240. That is the bonus to A. And what is the bonus to B? Bonus to B is 5Y according to this calculation what we already have done. Bonus to B is 5 into Y. And if we apply that 5 into Y, 5 into 20, that comes to 100 rupees bonus for B. Then you have factory overheads already calculated. For A it was 150 rupees, that is the 30 hours into 5 rupees. For B it is 200 because 40 hours into 5 rupees. Overhead rate is same. So 150, 200 already we know. Total is same. That's what we found out. Already given, that is 3490 and 3600 factory cost. Now only thing is we know the breakup of it in detail. That's it. That is a statement the question has asked us to prepare. So you need to prepare that statement. So what is the main point in this type of questions is you should know the Halsey plan and Rowan plan very well, and you should be able to apply those plans for the computation of premium paid to each worker. And in this particular problem, there are two unknown variables. When there are two unknown variables, the only way is to create two simultaneous equations and solve them. And that's what is done here. Material cost is same for both. Naturally it has to be. Then only the equations can be made here. Wage rate is same for both. Wages cost is not same for both. Bonus is not same for both, but wage rate is same for both. You take that wage rate as Y and material cost as X and compute the factory cost according to that and solve those two equations. You will understand. You will get how much is X and how much is Y. And then finally you can summarize all of that into one statement which was asked in the question. That's it. That is one type of application of Halsey and Rowan plans. In one examination question this was asked. Very important model that is. Like this many questions are there. You can generally go through them. These are mostly practice questions. Like illustration 9. Bonus paid under Halsey plan with bonus at 50% for the time saved equals the bonus paid under Rowan system. When will this statement hold good? So we need to prove that. Again, little only mathematical application. So what he says is bonus under Halsey plan with bonus at 50% naturally. That is, he did not tell that. We know that Halsey plan is a 50% plan. So 50% of time saved is equal to the bonus paid under Rowan. And when will that happen? He's asking. When will that happen? That's what you should identify here. When will that happen? Under a Halsey plan, we have these two things to be equal. Halsey plan and Rowan plan. We don't have any numbers here. Just we have to take these denotions. That's it. So bonus under Halsey plan is what? 50%. Half of standard hours minus actual hours. Time. We are talking only bonus. Huh? We are not talking about time wages because that is same under both plans. There is no difference in the first part. Difference only comes in the second part. So what is SH here? That is time allowed. What is AH here? Actual hours. That is time taken. So time allowed minus time taken is nothing but time saved. 50% of time saved multiplied with wage rate, hourly wage rate is what Halsey plan talks about. But Rowan plan talks about this. AH, that is again time taken divided by time allowed multiplied with time saved multiplied with rate per hour. That is Rowan plan's formula. This already we know that. Only point is we just need to equate them. So if you equate them, what will happen? Let us understand here. So left hand side, right hand side, 2 are there. 50% multiplied with SH minus AH into R should be equal to AH by SH into SH minus AH into R. So R will go, definitely, both sides. SH minus AH will go, both sides. So what will remain? Only this will remain. That is 50% is equal to AH divided by SH. In other words, when the premium under or bonus under Halsey and Rowan plans will be equal, when the actual time taken is only 50% of the time allowed, then only it is possible. So what is going to be the actual hours here? If you just cross multiply, actual hours is going to be how much? That is going to be 50% of standard hours. So half of standard hours, or we can say standard hours means time allowed. So standard hours into 50% or half of that. So when the actual time taken is exactly half of the time allowed, then the bonus under Halsey and Rowan plans will be equal. That can be proven by just substituting the formula and equating both bonuses. Once again, I am repeating, we are not equating the wages, we are equating the bonuses only here, because the first part, the actual time worked or time taken multiplied with wage rate part is common for both. Time wages is common for both. Only change is in bonus. If you equate those bonuses, finally the result is this. Actual hours is equal to standard hours multiplied with half. In other words, when a worker can complete the work within half time what has been given to him, then it doesn't matter to the worker whether he gets a Halsey plan or Rowan plan. Both plans will have equal premium. That is a point here to be noted. So that can be a proof here. So automatically every time it holds good, because this is a generic thing. We have not used any numbers here. Directly we have used the denotions. Denotions, you can use any other denotions also. SH is standard hours, that can be called time allowed. AH is actual hours, that can be called time taken. SH minus AH is time saved. All these denotions you can use. R is rate per hour, that is okay. So with that, finally the conclusion is, when the number of hours actually taken by the worker are half that of the time allowed to him, the Rowan plan bonus and Halsey plan bonus will be same. That's it. That is one practice question. Once again, we can say. Another question is also similar. This is asking what? The time allowed for a job is 8 hours. That is the total time that is allowed for the job. And hourly rate is 8 rupees. This is rate per hour, wage rate that is. Prepare a statement showing bonus earned, total earnings of employee and hourly earnings under Halsey system with 50% bonus for time saved and Rowan system for each hour saved progressively. So the question is, for each hour saved progressively, how much will be the bonus, how much will be total earnings, how much will be hourly earnings for this employee under Halsey plan also, under Rowan plan also is asked here. A statement has to be asked. Each hour progressively is said. So normally the time allowed for a job is 8 hours. Let us say if the employee has saved 1 hour, that means the time taken would be how much in that case? 7 hours. If he saved 2 hours, then the time taken will be 6 hours. Like that, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Possible or not possible, we don't need to worry. That was asked as a statement. 0, impossible, right? You cannot have 0 time taken. That is not possible. So time taken can be taken starting from 7 hours, then 6, then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time taken. Accordingly, the time saved will increase. That will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In all these combinations, how much is the bonus under Halsey plan and how much is the bonus under Rowan plan? That's what is asked. Very arithmetical question. There is nothing special here. First of all, what you need to find out is, you need to write down these hours and other things, And what is asked here, that has to be clearly written in each of the columns. You need to do this on paper. Standard hours once again is time allowed, actual hours is time taken, time saved is nothing but A minus B, that is time allowed minus time taken. Basic wages will be what? 8 rupees multiplied with actual time. So multiplied 8 rupees multiplied with B, that gives us basic wages. Now comes bonus under Halsey system. Bonus under Halsey system will be what? 50% of time saved into 8 rupees. Time saved we know already in the column C. So C into 50% into 8 rupees is bonus under Halsey plan. What will be bonus under Rowan plan? Once again, understand carefully. Time saved divided by time allowed multiplied with time taken. Or you do this calculations whatever the way you want. You want C by A into B, B by A into C, both are same. There's no difference there, so don't worry about that. Take any one thing. B is what? Time taken. Divided by A is time allowed. Multiplied with C is time saved. Multiplied with the rate, that is 8 rupees, which is standard. That gives us bonus under row 1 plan. Total earnings under Halsey plan will be basic wages plus Halsey. Total earnings under row 1 plan will be basic wages plus row 1. That will be here. So D plus E and D plus F. These two are there. Hourly earnings. Hourly earnings means whatever the total earnings divided by actual hours worked. So G divided by B or H divided by B will give us hourly earnings under Halsey also, under row 1 also. So this is a arithmetical exercise. You have to do it on paper. All things are very clear, but the point is you need to do it on paper. So practice this one and reduce the actual hours taken one by one progressively. So let us say initially no time saved is there. If no time saved is there, no bonus, only basic wages will come. So that is not a point. Starting from actual hours is 7. So then time saved will be naturally 1. Then further reduce actual hours to 6. Then time saved will be 2. And do the calculations accordingly for different types of things. So actual time goes down to 5, then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. Naturally the time saved will increase to 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, then 7. Actual hours cannot be 0. Please don't take 0. Stop at 1. Once you have actual hours, and standard hours are anyway always 8. There is no change in that. But once you have actual hours and time saved, you can find out bonus under Halsey plan and row 1 plan using the relevant formulae. Then you can find out total earnings under Halsey plan and row 1 plan separately. And once you have that, you can also find out hourly earnings under Halsey plan and row 1 plan. So it is an arithmetical exercise. You need to put pen on paper, do this exercise, practice this. Without looking at answers, you can just calculate them. Use the calculator, pen and paper. Don't try to audit this. So that is one more practice question which tells us about application of Halsey plan and row 1 plan. Then another question is also asked here, which is related to same Halsey row 1 plans. Illustration 10. A skilled worker in XYZ Limited is paid a guaranteed wage rate of 30 rupees per hour. So that is his R, we can say, that is the rate per hour. Standard time per unit for a particular product is 4 hours. That can be called as time allowed. For Mr. P, who is a machine man, he has been paid wages under row 1 incentive plan and he had earned an effective hourly rate of, look at this, effective hourly rate of 37.5. He is not talking about bonus, he is not talking about only basic wages. He is talking about effective hourly rate of 37.5 on the manufacture of that particular product. That means this finally what we are talking about. Hourly earnings under row 1 system. Finally the total wages divided by number of hours, that is what is calculating here, already calculated as 37.5. State what could have been his total earnings and effective hourly rate had he been put on Halsey system, is saying. First of all, we know the rate per hour is 30, but do we know how much is the time saved and time taken? Time allowed is given. Time taken is not there. So first and foremost point is we should note that how much is the time taken. Without that, we cannot find out how much is going to be his earnings under Halsey plan, because that information is not there. Rate per hour is given. Rate per hour is 30 rupees. Okay, that we know. And time allowed is given, that is 4 rupees, that we know. But how much is time taken? How much is time saved? That we don't know. That we should first find out by taking the effective hourly rate of 37.5. What is the effective hourly rate of 37.5 mean? That means whatever the number of hours actually taken multiplied with 37.5 should be equal to the basic wages plus bonus under row 1 plan for this worker Mr. P. That should be equated here. In other words, the earnings here, which we don't know, is, let us call as a T. What we don't know here is number of hours actually worked by this person, we don't know. That's what we are trying to find out. So what will be his total wages? Effective hourly wage is 37.5. Total earnings under row 1 plan will be 37.5 multiplied with T. That is equal to what? Basic wages plus bonus. But for basic wages, once again you need this. Once again you need T, because 30 rupees is the basic wage per hour. And we don't know how many hours are actually worked. So this portion is basic wages or time wages we can call. That is one part. Plus another part is time allowed we know. Time allowed is 4. So 4 minus time taken we don't know. So 4 minus T divided by once again time allowed multiplied with T multiplied with 30 rupees. This is the bonus part. Why all this? Because he is applied under row 1 plan. In the row 1 plan, that's what it is. Rate per hour 30 multiplied with time saved by time allowed into time taken. Time saved we cannot know without knowing time taken. So 4 minus T is time saved. Time allowed is 4. Time taken is once again T into 30 if we say. This is how this total equation looks like. Now if at all you take out T from both sides, cancel that in this entire equation. So what will be the result there? It will be 37.5 is equal to 30 rupees plus 4 minus T into 30 by 4 is how much? 30 by 4. That is 7.5. So 37.5 is equal to 30 rupees plus 4 minus T into 7.5. Solve for T. How much will be T here? That will be 3 hours. You need to do this calculation. So T is 3 hours. Right? So 7.5 T is equal to 22.5. So T will be equal to 3 hours. So what is T now? Time taken. That we know. Once you know time taken, there is no problem to calculate anything, because we have the formula for Halsey plan. Hours worked is 3 hours, which we already calculated, multiplied with 30 rupees, that is his time wages, that is basic time wages, we can say 90 rupees, plus half of time saved into 30 rupees. How much is time saved here? 1 hour only, because time allowed is 4 hours. Time taken is only 3 hours. 1 hour is saved. So half of 1 hour into 30 rupees. That gives us bonus part. This is bonus part. And total of that is 105. But effective hourly rate will be how much? 105 divided by 3 hours. So that comes to 35 rupees as the final answer. That is the effective hourly rate under Halsey plan. So the question gave already effective hourly rate under row 1 plan, that is 37.5. And it is asking effective hourly rate under Halsey plan. Directly you cannot get it. Straight away there is no link there. First we should know the data. And what was the missing number here? Time taken is missing. First we should find that out. Once you have time taken or hours actually worked, then substitute in the Halsey formula. You can get how much is the total wages or total earnings under Halsey plan, 105 rupees. And how much is hourly? That is 35 rupees under Halsey plan. That is another question. This type of questions also can be asked in the examination. They were asked also earlier. So that is one more model or question we can say. Once again using the same thing. It is using the Halsey plan and row 1 plan. All of them. Okay. That is about the problems related to Halsey and row 1. Now there are further some type of questions. This is a theory question. Basically, it is talking about a factory having the latest machines wants to introduce an incentive scheme, keeping in view the following: the entire gains of improved production should not go to workers. Of course, they will not go. In the name of speed, quality should not suffer. Everybody wants that. The rate setting department being newly established are liable to commit mistakes. So that is another problem practically there. And you are required to prepare a suitable incentive scheme and demonstrate by an illustrative numerical example how your scheme answers to all the requirements of the management. So is it giving that basically theory question. We have only two things. We don't have 100 schemes here. We have only Halsey and Rowan. That's all. And we have to demonstrate that one scheme is better than other, and which is better than other, that was first we should know. Always we have to understand this. We have to prove this point that Rowan scheme is better than Halsey scheme. That is a variable sharing plan because it doesn't have a fixed amount of 50% there. So Rowan scheme is always suitable incentive scheme. If it is adopted, the entire gains will not pass to him. That is first point. And also in this scheme, the worker cannot increase his earnings by merely increasing its work speed. Only if speedily if the work is done, just time is saved, then also there may not be any additional benefit to the worker. Why is that? When the bonus under Rowan scheme will be maximum, when the time taken by the worker is half of the time allowed, and this is known to them. So if they work at such speed which helps them to maintain the quality of output also, that means half of the time allowed only if anybody can complete the work, which is practically not possible. They know that it is not possible. So they will not be only running after the speed. That is one more possible explanation for advantages of Rowan scheme, we can say. And Rowan scheme is also once again rate setting department's problem is talking about. So if at all any undue advantage of this rate setting department's lack of experience is taken, that also might not be there in the Rowan plan. So look at this illustration just for understanding purposes. Let us say time allowed is 4 hours, the time taken is 3 hours, the time saved is 1 hour, rate per hour is 5 rupees per hour, just an illustration. So bonus will be how much? First calculate that. Time taken or time saved by time allowed into time taken into rate per hour. So 1 by 4 into 3 into 5, that comes to 3.75 rupees. This is the bonus under Rowan plan. And time saved is how much? 1 hour. So when there is a time saved of 1 hour is there, bonus how much is going to the worker? 3.75 is going to the worker. And in the Rowan plan, 3.75 rupees is given in the worker, whereas the 1.25 remains with the management. Of course, because the normal rate is 5 rupees per hour. Here, time saved is 1 hour. What will be the value of that hour if you convert into money? 5 rupees. In that 5 rupees, 3.75 is given to worker, 1.25 remains with the management. In other words, the worker is entitled for 75% of the time that is saved by him. That's what it is. 75% here. 3 by 4 means around 75% of the time that is saved by him in the form of bonus, the worker was able to do that here under Rowan scheme. But in Halsey, that is fixed at 50% only. Imagine, let us say the worker now has worked faster. Let us say he has taken 2 hours only instead of 1 hour. That means instead of 3 hours, he has taken 2 hours. So in the same thing, let us say time taken is 2 hours. Just changing the time taken. Time taken saves means naturally the time saved also will be changing. So here, if at all this changes, the 3.75 already calculated, unnecessary again calculated, that is not required. So this is what, if at all the worker has done half of it, half of the time allowed. So time allowed is 4 hours. If it has taken only 2 hours, that means half, then the bonus will be maximum. That will be how much? 5 rupees. So when the half of the time allowed is taken actually, then the bonus is maximum. Then entire amount 5 rupees will go to worker. That time saved here is, sorry, not the entire amount, because he has saved 2 hours, 10 rupees is the total time value of that, my monetary value of that time we can say, and in that 5 rupees is only going to the worker, which means for the company still there is 5 rupees that is remained as a benefit. So here the bonus figure has actually not increased, it has decreased. That is the point. What the amount that worker is getting, it may be looking like the amount is increased, but if you look at the hourly point, then the bonus has not actually increased, it has decreased. Why is that? For 5 rupees bonus, he has saved 2 hours, which means bonus per hour is 2.5, right? Per hour. Earlier 1 hour he has earned a bonus of 3.75. That means there is a 1.25 loss to the worker. By working fast, he is not gaining. He might be gaining in absolute amounts, yes. But hourly he is not gaining. Hourly he is losing. Earlier, if you observe, hourly, because 1 hour was the only saving, the management was getting only 1.25. Now, hourly the management is getting 2.5. So it is more beneficial to the management if the workers work too fast. And workers know that they are losing. So they will not work too fast also. They will not reduce their time taken to half of time allowed, because this is known to them. It's a different story. How would they know? Most of the workers in the world would not have heard the name of Rowan also. It's a different story. These are all theories we are talking about. So because the question is asking to prove with an example, these are all the examples taken. So the point is, the Rowan plan generally with this quality will not compromise on quality, is the point to be proven here. Okay, so that is one point. Next, one more illustration is also given. For example, if rate setting department has set the time allowed as by mistake 10 hours instead of 4 hours, then the bonus is what? Here under Rowan plan, instead of 4 hours, 10 hours they have set as time allowed, too much, but time taken is only 3 hours. So 7 hours looks like time saved. 7 hours looks like time saved, and time saved divided by time allowed into time taken multiplied with rate, bonus will come to around 10.5. If, for example, Halsey plan is used, if Halsey plan was used, then how much it would have been? The bonus would have been 50% of the time saved into rate per hour. 50% of the time saved into rate per hour. So time saved here is how much? That is 7 hours. Only 30% is given now, not 50% of time saved. In Rowan plan, here 3 by 10 means only 30% is given as bonus to the worker. If at all Halsey plan was used, then because this calculation is not there, directly 50% of time saved into rate per hour will be used. So there the worker probably would have got more bonus. How much you would have got? Would have got 17.5 rather than 10.5. So by mistake, if there is a wrong time allowed set, Halsey plan might have more loss to the organization than Rowan plan. So if Rowan plan is there, anyway, because the bonus is only proportional to their performance, no standard of 50% is there here. So the workers cannot take the undue advantage of the mistake committed by time setting department, is what we can conclude from this. So out of these two, Halsey or Rowan, which is better? Theoretically also this question is asking. With proof we can do that by showing some numbers. First point, what are their objectives? Entire gain of improved production should not go to workers. Definitely it will not go to workers in Rowan plan, because out of the time saved, only the proportion of time taken by time allowed is given to them. So entire amount will not go to the workers ever. And if there is time taken by time allowed, let us say equal to 1, that means there is no time saved at all. So there is no bonus, that means. So that situation does not arise. So the point is, entire amount will never go to worker. First objective of the company fulfilled. Second objective of the company was what? Like for any company, in the name of speed, the quality should not suffer. That also we have proven here. If the worker increases the speed too much rather than benefiting, he is losing 1.25 per hour, particularly speaking. So that workers will not do, which means they are not going to unnecessarily speeden up only for earning bonus. They will do the work with respect to required quality, and because of their efficiency, if there is any time saved, they will get bonus anyway. But undue speed will not be there under row 1 plan. And the third one is, because of this particular company's situation, he said the rate setting department is newly established and they might commit mistakes. Row 1 scheme will cover those mistakes also, because it is not giving straight away half of time saved to the workers. It is giving only the proportion of time taken to time allowed of the time saved to the workers. So even though there is a unduly high time allowed, still the workers will not get more wages under row 1. But if that mistake happens, the same workers might get much higher wages in Halsey plan. So that is why in all respects, final conclusion will be row 1 plan is better than Halsey plan. That has to be proven like this. That's only for understanding purposes, more of a theory question we can say. And that is all given with the graphical understanding, not that required. Nobody is going to ask us to draw the graphs. That is not required. That's enough about Halsey and row 1. With that, we can conclude today's session, and in the next session, we'll continue the discussion of some more aspects like labor turnover. But before that, definitely there will be some problems to be done on Halsey plan and row 1 plan. Formulae to be remembered well, you have to write them, and whatever the questions discussed in this class today, you need to practice them on paper first. That is also a task. Task does not mean only whatever is sent to you. So you have to do it. Each and every problem what we have done or discussed today, you need to do them on paper first. That is your first task. And additional questions will be anyway sent to you for practice. Those also you have to solve. That is the core of labor. Once again, I am repeating. Almost all the times the questions from this chapter will come from Halsey and row 1 plans only. Of course, the labor turnover is another topic also. There are questions. We will come to them later. That is the third category of questions from this topic. First category, generic questions, computation of labor cost, overtime, idle time, treatment, etc. Second category, wage payment systems, incentive systems, we can say. Or for practical purposes, examination purposes, Halsey row 1, nothing else. Halsey row 1. Ultimately, it all comes down to those two only. Then the third category is labor turnover and its impacts, computation, and what is the cost of labor turnover to a company in a particular situation. So that is not going to be a huge one. That is only a small topic. But major topic in this chapter is Halsey and row 1 plan and related application of that. Nobody is going to just give time allowed, time taken, and rate per hour, also calculate automatically Halsey and row 1. No, such questions will not come. Mostly the application of Halsey and row 1 formulae under different circumstances, like we have seen. In one case, time taken was not given. We had to find out. In other case, factory cost was given, but materials cost was not given, rate per hour was not given. We had to find out. So like this application of Halsey and row 1 plan can be there in many type of questions. We need to be able to solve them, and that we can do only when the formulae related to the both plans we are thorough with. So write down those formulae number of times, solve the questions in the essay material that we study thoroughly. Then we can move on to the next topic within this chapter of labor. Till that time, take care. Bye bye. Thank you very much.